Good afternoon and welcome to Political Update. This Friday is a special one indeed because you are still in that mood of celebration. Please remember us that our essential duty as we continue to enjoy of the moment. But this week, precisely on Monday, President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, addressed the nation as it were media chat, and for almost 1 hour, a lot of issues were discussed. Almost every aspect of policies, governance, agriculture, name them. He gave detailed explanation to some of his policies. And Nigerians were really impressed with that address because at least for your president to explain certain things to you, especially the issue of tax reform, size of the members of the cabinet, and a lot of issues were raised. And indeed, they were quite informative. So this week, we're going to visit that speech by Mr. President. Obviously, some of you missed it. Anyway, NTA repeated that speech on Tuesday again between 1 to 2 p.m. This week, we are still taking some excerpts from that to refresh those that have already watched. And for those that missed it, please, you can have a bite of it. So let's take a listen.
That is understood, Mr. President.
Good.
Yes. I think what especially critics are arguing is that it seems to be rushed and that you could have perhaps preceded, just before the presentation to the National Assembly, you could have sought maybe for more dialogue, a political solution to preempt the outcry and resistance that faced afterwards.
Every tax situation without outcry is not a tax.
Well,
you cannot satisfy uniformly the larger community of tax evasion. Look at this tax reform. It's pro-poor. The vulnerables are not to pay taxes. All we ask for is widen the net, bake the cake larger, so that we can share a larger meal. What is in it? They will still ask for this consultation no matter how long I delay it. The hallmark of a good leader is the ability to do what you have to do at the time it has to be done. That's my philosophy. You have given me the mind to govern. Let me govern within the limit of my capacity. And I believe I have that capacity. I believe so. That's why I went into the race. I am focused, laser focused on what Nigeria needs and what I must do for Nigerians. It's just not going to be El Dorado for everybody. But the new dawn is here. I'm convinced. And you should be convinced. You should help propagate that conviction. Today we have autonomy for local governments. And some of you, including you, will remember my lamentation, my argument with Obasanjo about the need for grassroots development when I created 37 local government development areas for Lagos State. Go there now, you see development. You see rapid contact with the people at the grassroots. That is where people live. They are not living with me in Abuja now, except bureaucrats. And we have to do that. Well, I'll say I'm drawing water from a dry well. And and Nigeria is moving forward. Regardless of critics, this is a project of restoration now, and that Nigeria is on the path of recovery. We can't finish the job in one calendar year, and I'm not giving myself an excuse. It's only 18 months. I'm not proving anybody service chiefs or serving chiefs. You cannot disrespect the institution because of a threat of a probe. And you cannot fight this war without investments in technology, in weaponry, and training. There might be leakages here and there, not wholesale. We put a very effective control mechanism in place to monitor our budgetary releases, and those funds are being judiciously used. Consider the welfare of our servicemen and women. Consider it. They are living in a very and operating in a very serious conditions. We have a huge country, a very huge one, and a lot of forests, unoccupied places. Give them credit for what they are doing. I am proud of what they are doing to date. No need to prove. Corruption in all ramification is bad for the people. But first of all, pay enough attention to the causes. Why are the people corrupt at all? The lack of social amenities, the lack of needs in some areas, lack of funding for their children's education. There are so many anti-corruption mechanisms that you can put in place that will help the people not to be corrupt. Pay them good and living wages. I have moved from 35,000 to 70,000. To me, that's anti-corruption. And if I can earn more, I'm giving more money to the state and local government level. I've been transparent with my earnings. Every month there is a publication as to how much this country is making. Disclosure, abilities to stem corruption is part of the instrument of EFCC. That is why they are discovering all sorts of inefficiencies in the system. Block all the loopholes where anybody can just game the system. Part of the anti-corruption, removal of subsidy too. It's anti-corruption. It is very, very difficult to you eliminate it. You reduce it to the barest minimum. Meet the people's needs. Help the people grow. Help them with the education of their children. Our student loan is part of anti-corruption. No parents should lament how to encourage their children in university education. Today is working for larger populations. Larger part of it, 60-something%. At the University of Madrid, I have somebody called, say, a little contribution from my daughter in the university for me to start business. That's part of tuition fee allowances. We are helping one another. The society is moving out of illiteracy to literacy. I enjoy debate how many and what type of courses are being offered in the universities these days to improve science, knowledge, and technology. We just continue to work at it. But I'm sure we are not taking our eyes off those serious matters. 2025 is a very promising year. Let me first of all thank Nigerians for having confidence in me to be the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm very, very proud of that. And I don't want you to think I will take you for granted at any given time. I'm here to serve. It's all about service. And I'll do it with all my heart. I seek your cooperation at all the time. I seek your understanding. I understand the trouble you've been through, the economic problems. It's just 18 months have taken over the reign of this country. The promise is there. We are on the right path. We stay the course. We maintain focus. We share love with each other. Let us believe in ourselves and in our country. Yeah. Tomorrow will bring a glorious dawn. Thank you very much.
That is the President's media chat on Monday this week. Just as the President encouraged Nigerians to support him as he lead the country, a group of the All Progressive Congress under the umbrella of the Arewa Support Tinubu Group, Northern Nigeria, has passed a vote of confidence on various laudable initiatives and reforms while working tirelessly to restore peace and hope to Nigerians. The group, during a press conference in Abuja, said the renewed hope agenda of the President has made significant progress in the area of economic diplomacy, engaged in a series of high-powered international engagement, prioritizes human capital development with focus on education, healthcare, youth empowerment, energy, and transport, as well as the Students' Loan Fund and Consumer Credit Corporation.
President Tinubu's administration has made significant progress in attracting investment to the country. The President Tinubu's project in the north have focused on economic development, security, and social welfare, with the goal of improving the lives of Nigerians and promoting sustainable growth. We, as Bonapartists of Nigeria, and the staunch members of APC as a party, who worked for the success of the administration, we are now here under the umbrella of Northern Nigeria in order to pass our vote of confidence of President Abuja. Let me use this
And now to the People's Democratic Party. Former Governor of Kano State, Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, says the People's Democratic Party can leverage the country's youth population to win majority of elective seats at both federal and state levels. He was speaking at the unveiling ceremony of the Board of Trustees of Northern Forum of Zonal and State Youth Leaders of PDP in Abuja.
Through this, you cannot miss any information.
Officially, in the Northern Forum of Zonal and State Youth Leaders of PDP social media handles by former Governor of Kano State, Senator Ibrahim Shekarau. The social media handles are to serve as awareness creation avenues to regain the confidence of Nigerians towards returning PDP to its old winning days.
What we are trying to do today is to bring to the consciousness of the people of Nigeria that so handles exist for this forum so that they can follow.
The youth constitutes the largest number of our voters in Nigeria. We only need to mobilize them.
Party leaders believe that lack of internal democracy was a major factor responsible for PDP's inability to capture power at the center.
It's not entirely the fault of the elders that the party is suffering. It's also because the youth have not been able to put themselves. I want to charge the youth to please fill in this void led by the leadership. They will have to work hard. We'll have to work hard like we did in 1999. And we are counting on the youth to do that for us.
Both leaders and youth of the party at this gathering appealed for understanding among party leaders at all levels to work as a team towards moving PDP from opposition to a party in government status.
Nigeria is committed to the protection of its territorial integrity and respect for the sovereignty of neighboring countries. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, gave the indication during luncheon with the troops of Operation Fasan Anyama at the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army, Sokoto.
The operational tour launched with the frontline troops by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, is to boost their morale, assess the security situation and challenges they are facing in the theater of operation. The Chief of Defense Staff urged them to exhibit high sense of professionalism and patriotism in their conduct. General Musa called on communities to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity to security operatives, emphasizing that community cooperation is critical in ensuring national security. He advised communities to vacate areas where military operations are ongoing for their safety to enable security forces secure the areas. The defense chief took time to visit wounded soldiers and assured them of taking their full responsibilities.
We must all not allow anybody use our soil, and we will not allow any of our soil be used against any of our neighboring countries.
The general also visited his alma mater, where he inaugurated 36 classrooms and administrative block and donated books as part of his community service initiative and contributions to the development of education in Sokoto State. It was a nostalgic moment at the Guinea Memorial Stadium, Sokoto, as the general reconnected with his childhood friends with whom he played basketball from Sokoto. Bashir Ibrahim Naba.
Still on security issues, Nigeria has rejected allegations made by Niger Republic's military leader claiming that Nigeria is colluding with France to destabilize its country. A statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, describes such allegation as baseless and existing solely in the realm of imagination. The minister clarifies that Nigerian government has never engaged in any alliance with France or any other country to sponsor terrorist attacks or destabilize Niger Republic. Mohamed Idris says President Tinubu, as ECOWAS chairman, has demonstrated leadership in keeping the sub-regional body open to re-engaging Niger Republic despite the political situation in the country. The statement reaffirms Nigeria's stand in fostering peace and sustaining the historic diplomatic ties with Niger Republic and refutes Nigeria's involvement in arming or supporting terror groups to attack Niger Republic or its pipeline, as well as agriculture. The minister emphasizes that Nigeria has consistently supported Niger's economic development through joint energy and infrastructure projects. He explains that Nigerian military has been actively fighting terrorism in the region and recently launched Operation Forest Sanity 3 to address the Lakura threat. Consequently, the federal government is urging the Republic of Niger to disregard the false allegations and calls on the Niger leader, to provide credible evidence to substantiate. Let's take a brief wish from Mr. President, and then we call it a day.
25 is a very promising year.
"2025 is indeed a promising year, and that's an assurance coming from Mr. President. On that promising note, we end today's edition on Political Update. Do have a productive weekend, as we hope to join you again on Tuesday. Thank you very much. My name is Mie Ogede.